like, man, we're really that desperate we're gonna poison ourselves to get a guy's attention? No thank you. Hey guys, it's Kristen and today we are talking about episode 10 of the Charmed reboot. We are going to be diving into this big curse that is on Jordan and so much more. Consider subscribing if you like my videos and drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on this episode. Really quick before we get into it, I just want to say today is my 6-year anniversary of making content on YouTube and we've hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel as well. So there's just a lot to celebrate today and I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining my little pop culture community and watching my videos and commenting and letting me know your thoughts on movies and TV shows and other pop culture things that we talk about here, which are things that I really love, that are just like intrinsically part of who I am. It's just, I love pop culture, I love entertainment, and I'm so glad that this is a place where, you know, other people feel comfortable coming here and sharing their thoughts, whether we agree or disagree. You guys know I don't care about that, I just love the conversation. Over the last 6 years, I've really put a lot of work into my channel. You know, I have a full-time career outside of YouTube, so I wake up early, I film before work, I edit on the train, and I'm just always hustling to try to get new content out there because this is something that I love to do, and it just really means a lot to me that there are people that appreciate that and recognize that. I can't believe that there are 10,000 plus people who come to my channel, and I can't wait for what else is to come, so thank you guys. So now let's get into this Charmed review. There are kind of 3 different storylines going on in this episode, so let's start off with Maggie's. So it's Jordan's birthday, he's about to turn 26, and we all know that his family has this curse set upon them. One of his ancestors was a witch hunter that did some pretty bad things, leading to a witch to curse his entire family line, and if they're not able to break the curse, Jordan will die at 25. In this episode, we are following Maggie trying to save Jordan from this witch ghost. We even get to see this witch ghost possess Swan in sort of like an exorcism type of way, and whoo, that was creepy. Swan was out there fighting, trying to attack. I was glad that they actually gave her a moment to do something a little bit different because we always see her sort of in the background at Safe Space just being like, you know, come on visionaries, let's get some kombucha, and it was kind of fun to see her in a totally different setting. And I do think that the way this story sort of went, it really seems to me like Swan is an innocent and that she doesn't have anything to do with any of the supernatural magical things going on, so it was fun to see her kind of get mixed up in that a little bit. And you know, I really think that this witch ghost storyline actually was one of the more successful sort of monster of the week, demon of the week situations that they've set up for this series, because we did get that like foreshadowing and that information beforehand that this was coming. So it felt like this had a little bit bigger of a storyline and I really enjoyed that. Maggie ends up giving his black amber ring back to this witch ghost and she lets him go, but the curse is not officially broken yet. He has to do something to balance the hands of justice, so I wonder if, you know, he will kind of start joining forces with the sisters and help out, and maybe that will lead to him helping to officially break the curse because he'll be on the side of the witches helping them. And because of all of this, now Jordan has been brought into the fold. He knows the truth about the sisters and that they're witches. And there was a little moment in this episode where I felt like they were sort of teasing that maybe Jordan was starting to find Maggie interesting in like a romantic sort of way. If he's really coming into this inner circle now and gonna be working with them, maybe they are gonna make them get closer and fall for each other. You know, if they're gonna do it slowly, then sure, maybe I could be interested in that, but I just hate these very rushed romances that we're getting into, which there's a little one with Macy and Julian that I will get to shortly. Next up, let's talk about Mel. In this episode, we actually get to see her join forces with Ray, and I was glad to see him stick around a little bit longer and be in this episode and us just to learn a little bit more. Mel is working with him to kind of dive more into that archaeological black market and figure out who are these people that want these magical items and why. And is there a connection between them and why the Darklighter came after them at the beginning of this season? We did find out that Ray has always known about Dexter and Macy and the fact that Maggie is not really his daughter. So I did think that that was interesting, and I really feel like it seemed like he was trying to stick around as much as he possibly could to be with his family, even treating Maggie like a daughter, but after a while Abigail, the fact that he knew that Marisol had eyes for someone else just kind of hurt him, and eventually it just became too much and he had to just leave. And I think he does treat Maggie as his daughter, even though he is not technically her birth father. And I think that that was really nice. I was glad that they addressed that whole situation because I know that's something we've all been sort of thinking about. I also really liked that there were a couple of little hints that just showed how similar Ray and Mel really are. Even just them like drinking their coffees the same way. It was really nice to see that kind of father-daughter bond, even inadvertently. And when it comes to these black market dealers that Mel and Ray are going up against, Ray ends up giving them black amber, and I'm just like, why did this man take this vial? I know that he didn't like mean to do it, he didn't mean to give up something that was so important, but it's pretty clear that we're now opening up this whole new storyline of these people who are some type of maybe scientists or something that are investigating magic, maybe they're witch hunters, we don't really know exactly what's going on there, but they're definitely doing some type of investigating when it comes to magic, and I'm sure it's not for anything good. This feels like it's opening up a whole nother can of worms, this whole other group of people that are investigating magic, and it's like, what happened to the witch versus demon war? What's going on with the dark lighter? I'm not saying we need to have these things in every single episode as the main focus, but you would think that they would at least keep that drumbeat going, because we haven't talked about the witch versus demon war in quite a while, and it just seems like, is that even a focus anymore? Does anyone even care about that? And the fact that we're opening up this idea of like, okay, well, who is doing this scientific experimentation on magic? It makes you think, well, who's a new character that was introduced that has stuff to do with science and technology and innovation? Julian. So I wonder if he might have some type of connection to this new storyline that's coming up. Is he really trying to dig underneath Safe Space to create a new eco-friendly garden type of situation, or does it have something more to do with a magical situation? And finally, let's dive into Macy's story. We go and see her and Harry go help Abigail, who has been poisoned by someone, and it turns out she poisoned herself because she has a crush on Harry and wanted him to come and like comfort her and support her and be around her. And it's like, man, we're really that desperate? We're gonna poison ourselves to get a guy's attention? No thank you. It's a little bit disappointing that Macy, who is such a strong character, who is this black female scientist who finds out she's a witch, who just has so much depth and complexity to her character, her whole storyline right now is about some type of love triangle or love quadrangle. Like, I think we could do a little bit better for her. I think that there's still a little bit of confusion around this whole love situation. Harry happens to have feelings for Macy and maybe for Abigail as well, because she is very similar to Macy. The two of them have a lot of similarities in terms of their powers, in terms of the fact that they're both half witch, half demon. Harry feels like he can't be with Abigail even though he's sort of attracted to her because of her demon side, but he still wants to be with Macy, so that doesn't really make any sense. And then Harry ends up giving this very weird ultimatum to Macy, basically very aggressively telling her how he feels about her, and I don't think she really knows how to react to that, because I'm not sure if she really knows how she feels. I think there's a part of her that likes Harry because he's a nice guy, but also is intrigued by Dark Harry, and honestly, based off of just the characters so far, I kind of like Dark Harry a little bit more. But also now she is introduced to this guy Julian, who they only went out one time last episode, and already he's inviting her to Aspen? Seems suspicious. Does he actually really like Macy, or is he going to try to use her? Maybe he really is a magical being, maybe he really is a villain and is going to try to use her scientific knowledge and her magic, and maybe he is part of this group of people who are trying to experiment on magic. I have to say though, I'm getting really tired of all the drama around love interests. I just think that they should take a little bit of a step back from that. I'm not saying you have to get rid of them totally. I get this is a CW show, but I think that they can focus a little bit more on the tasks at hand. Like, do we really need to have like love interest drama between Macy, Harry, Dark Harry, Abigail, this new guy Julian? How is that realistic? Like, why are there that many love interests? Like, let's tone it down a minute. It just gets kind of annoying after a while, because it's like every single person that comes into the picture is a potential love interest. Why can't we just like work together, find a common goal, and like actually achieve something? Because honestly, not that much has really been achieved this season. Like I said, Ray's still alive, Parker's still alive, Dark Harry's still alive, so like, what have we really done besides learn a little bit more about magical history? Overall, I did have a lot of fun with this episode. I'm glad that we finally addressed the whole situation with Jordan's curse. I really enjoyed that that was something that was set up a couple of episodes ago and actually had sort of like a little bit of a resolution and payoff in this episode, because it felt like, okay, we're actually getting somewhere, we're actually doing something. And I actually really like Ray, so I'm glad that we're kind of seeing him come into the picture. And I know that he makes dumb mistakes like giving up that black amber, but I don't think that anything he does is done maliciously. I just think he's a little bit goofy, sometimes makes the wrong decision, but I do think that his heart is in the right place. So I hope that we continue to see him pop up in future episodes. And like I said, the whole love triangle stuff with Macy especially, just like give her something more to do. Macy's such an awesome character. I would hate for her to kind of go down the path of Phoebe, who's a character for me that, you know, started off really strong and then over time it just became all about her and her love interest. And it just got boring. Obviously, people want to find love. Love is one of the greatest magics of all, okay? But I think that we can put that on the back burner for a little bit and focus on some other things, because there is a lot going on already, or a lot that could be going on. If you guys like this one, you can check out more of my Charmed reviews right over here, and I will catch you in my next video. See ya.